Each week on this video, we'll give you sneaky waiver wire ads that you can pick up and add to your roster for this year's fantasy football. I'm Alan Seslowsky, along with Jeff Erickson. Who's going to be your first sneaky ad for week 2?
I'm going to go injury based on the first one here, and that's Jaylen Warren of the Steelers. I mean, this is an obvious one here. If Najee Harris's foot/ankle is a problem, reports are that it might be a high ankle sprain, which would require multiple weeks, obviously. He had the Liz Frank injury in training camp, which the Steelers lied about. If he had a club foot, the Steelers would just say he had an achy foot, just a cramp. But he also, Harris didn't get going. He did not look great. Now, that might also be a function of the offensive line, too. So just something to watch for there. But, Warren's the obvious handcuff here. So I go after that. He was playing every snap on the overtime of that game.
My first sneaky ad is Johan Dotson, the wide receiver on the Washington Commanders. 40% rostered, so there's a chance he is on a roster already in your league. He had only 3 catches for 40 yards, but 2 of them, Jeff, were for touchdowns. This isn't a surprise for those who scouted Dotson at Penn State. He had 20 touchdowns in his last 2 years. Dotson only had 5 targets in this game, but he made them count. And if you took my punt play, flex right there, Carson Wentz, it worked out as a double hit right there. Sorry for the victory lap. Dotson ran a route on almost every one of Wentz's dropbacks, and he does have the talent to stick as an every week fantasy starter. The Commanders face Detroit in week 2.
Curtis Samuel is also a guy that I'm interested too while we're looking at the Commanders. I'd like to see him healthy again. He was very involved. Dotson and Samuel both really good route runners. I think, and it's going to help McLaurin too. I think it's going to help everybody around it. I really like that ad. What if I could tell you I could get Trey Lance's projected production at a fraction of the cost? Give me Marcus Mariota. 72 rushing yards, ran for 11 yards on a design run the very first snap. This is something that's going to be a feature, not a bug. He's going to run a lot. The only negative here is they face the Rams in week 2, an angry Rams team with 10 days to prepare. Mariota was effective running the ball. Passing we'll still see a little bit there, but 72 rushing yards, that plays. That's a passing touchdown and a half right there, pretty much.
Mariota is definitely on your waiver wire, and if you lost Dak Prescott, you need to replace him. Keenan Allen is set to miss Thursday's game in all likelihood, so we need to talk about the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm going to recommend picking up tight end Gerald Everett, only 20% rostered. The tight end had 4 targets, 3 catches, 54 yards. One of them was a touchdown. Everett was a popular weight on tight end last year when he failed to meet fantasy managers' expectations. He was a complete afterthought in this year's drafts, but teammate Austin Eckler highlighted Everett as somebody to watch for fantasy on the Yahoo podcast a few weeks back. So if you lost Kittle and you're not satisfied with your late round tight end, Cole Kmet, 0 targets, Everett's your guy.
I picked up Everett in a couple leagues where I do have Kittle. So that was nice. I'm going to go with Josh Palmer, also in the same sort of vein. I don't think this is a long-term injury with Keenan Allen. At least the initial reports suggest that, although we know with hamstring injuries, they can tend to linger. But the quick turnaround makes this important. And Palmer steps right into Allen's role. Even though he didn't get the target share that we wanted to see, only 4 targets. And, they really spread around. Nobody got more than 4 targets in the win over the Raiders. I think that, first of all, I think they're going to have to throw the ball a little bit more against the Chiefs. And B, I think it's just more time to prepare for Palmer in that spot. I think you're going to see a lot more of Palmer this week.
You mentioned Marcus Mariota as a pickup if you lost Dak. I like Carson Wentz, too, if somebody beat you to the punch on Mariota. Only 15% rostered. Wentz completed 27 passes for 313 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Wentz gets a bad rap because he's had some epic fails in very public games. However, fantasy football, he was the QB 13 last year in 6-point touchdown leagues. He's capable of keeping an offense on schedule for fantasy wide receivers and now has 3 credible wide receivers with Dotson, Curtis Samuel, and of course, Terry McLaurin. If you lost Dak, Wentz is your guy versus the Lions next week.
I like both of those guys better than Cooper Rush, who is stepping in for Dak. And you're stepping into a role that isn't as fruitful as it's going to look. Dak struggled well before the injury, which was a total fluke injury. That offensive line is in a bad way. The Bucs were in the backfield on Dak all game long. They're missing playmakers. They need to get Michael Gallup back badly. They need to use Jalen Tolbert, who was a healthy scratch for reasons. I don't know. You spend a guy, an early draft pick on a guy like that and don't even have him dressed for your season opener. Don't really know what's going on in Big D, but it's not so big right now.
All right. I want everybody to comment your sneaky ads. And also, if you like videos like this, remember to hit the like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell to get notified when we put up new videos every day. And you can hear Jeff Erickson live on SiriusXM Channel 87, Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, all throughout the fantasy football season.